Good morning, Michelle Saxman here, and ready to share with you some time in Proverbs. Today is the 7th of February, so we'll be reading Proverbs 7 and the reflection from Hope Church. Proverbs, we're going to focus on Proverbs chapter 7, verses 2 and 3. Keep my commands, and you will live. Guard my teachings as the apple of your eye. Bind them on your fingers and write them on the tablet of your heart. The reflection: eyes, fingers, heart. These verses tell us to be intentional with what we look at, touch, and care about. It reminds me of the children's song, "Oh, be careful, little eyes, what you see." It takes discipline and a desire for God's goodness to stay focused on His teaching, while understanding that it is not through our might or our works that we are saved, rather only through His grace. But the wise will understand that internalizing biblical teaching, putting it into active practice, directly affects our character. Chapter 7, Proverbs 7. My son, keep my words and store up my commands within you. Keep my commands and you will live. Guard my teachings as the apple of your eye. Bind them on your fingers. Write them on the tablet of your heart. Say to wisdom, you are my sister, and call understanding your kinsman. They will keep you from the adulteress, from the wayward wife with the seductive words. At the window of my house, I look out through the lattice. I saw among the simple, I noticed among the young men a youth who lacked judgment. He was going down the street near her corner, walking along in the direction of her house. At twilight, as the day was fading, as the dark of night set in, then out came a woman to meet him, dressed like a prostitute with a crafty intent. She is loud and defiant. Her feet never stay at home. Now in the street, now in the squares, at every corner she lurks. She took hold of him and kissed him, and with her brazen face she said, I have fellowship offerings at home. Today I fulfilled my vows. So I came out to meet you. I looked for you and I have found you. I have covered my bed with colorful linens from Egypt. I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let's drink deep of love till morning. Let's enjoy ourselves with love. My husband is not at home. He has gone on a long journey. He took his purse filled with money and will not be home till full moon. With persuasive words, she led him astray. She seduced him with her smooth talk. All at once he followed her like an ox going to the slaughter, like a deer stepping into a noose, till an hour pierces his liver, like a bird darting into a snare, little knowing it will cost him his life. Now then, my sons, listen to me. Pay attention to what I say. Do not let your heart turn to her ways or stray onto her paths. Many are the victims she has brought down. Her slain are a mighty throng. Her house is a highway to the grave, leading down to the chambers of death. Inverse living, ups and downs. We talk about the things of the culture, the pit of despair, and then the ability to rise above, to go through where the veil has been torn, called into His presence. He has invited us into that. But it is only when we learn these things. Listening to a podcast the other day, and it said, where do you go for information? Where do you go for knowledge? Where do you go for wisdom? And a lot of times it's going to be, people are going to say, where do you go for information? Well, we pick up our phones and we go to Google and we look things up. Where do we go for knowledge? Chances are, what they were saying is, we go to a classroom, we go to university. That's where we believe we acquire knowledge. But where do we go for wisdom? And this is where they say the sacred canopy has kind of been broken or torn. And we used to go to church. We used to go into synagogue, as long as man has been around. This is not just about us today. It is, where do we go for wisdom? And it used to be these classrooms and environments filled with philosophers and evangelicals, and leading people toward wisdom. And what is wisdom? Wise love. That is what we are as individuals. We are on a journey of wisdom as an expression of love. So learning to cultivate that internal peace, but paying attention, again, where are our eyes, our hands? What are we doing? What are we filling this space with? And making sure that we are in the Word. It is, again, it can be what is adorning our head as well as our neck and our heart, writing it on our heart, the seat of our soul, and having a daily discipline to kind of cultivate this environment. And I'm doing a lot of things, not just by going to church, but listening to different podcasts and stuff, because I know that this discipline cannot be just a one and done. It's something that I need to experience in different, like taking a walk and listening to a podcast, getting my body in motion while the words are filtering in is something that's really important to me. Our beliefs can actually change in the science of neurochemistry, neuroscience, neuroactivity. When we cultivate this stillness, that is activating one area of our brain. But when we're doing things also in motion, we're creating new neural pathways. And I am trying to be really intentional in this transformation, filling myself with the truths of the Bible so that my beliefs will begin to change, then my behavior, so I can be that light that I desire to see in this world. Thank y'all for spending time with me on the 7th as we journey through Proverbs. Stay connected to the vine, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.